Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Demetrius Johnson, and you're listening to MMA Latest News.com.
It's time to roll, baby.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to MMA Latest. Welcome if you're joining us from Facebook, of course. We're here for Anthony Smith versus Aleksander Rakic. It's the UFC Vegas 8 preview quarter. I'm joined with tonight, of course. Looking forward to some good fights tonight, of course. We've already lost one, unfortunately, which was the big talking point, Kutalaba versus Ankalev, is it?
Yeah.
I must have got the name there. But yes, Anthony Smith, Rakic, light heavyweight division, of course. How much are you looking forward to this one tonight?
Buzzing, yeah. Kind of a bit, I don't know, it's a bit weird seeing Anthony Smith back here so early after the last, you know, it's been about 3 months. Yeah, I think it's 3 months and
a
few days maybe. Yeah, it's been around 3 months, a lot of fights and then 3 months. But it's quite, yeah, I didn't expect to see him back in here so fast, but he's a fighter at the end of the day, so I'm not really, it's kind of what they do, isn't it? But yeah, Rakic then, always a pleasure to see him there. What do you think?
Yeah, definitely. It's, another, UFC Europe talent coming in Rakic. As you said, Anthony Smith, he lost to Glover Teixeira in quite a convincing fashion. It almost became a bit brutal, didn't it? We're accustomed to seeing the violence in the cage, but every now and then it just pushes that boundary a bit further. And you're looking there going, please stop this bout at any sort of period. And it went on. I think it was the 5th round it got ended in, didn't it? Because obviously Smith just couldn't continue any longer. The fact that he lost his teeth in the 3rd round continued. There's a lot of question marks on his team to throw in the towel. How do you think you can benefit from that going into this one?
Your core. Well, all I can think of is his corner improving. Like his corner were pushed. Like they were called. Like they just kept calling out combos and just instructions constantly early in the fight, and he was following them. He just kept going. He's pushing the pace. He was throwing what they were telling him to throw, and he looked good. And then he just died off, and then just got taken over. It was rough to watch, and to see their fighter get beaten that badly until the 5th round. Even Teixeira was saying sorry, like, come on. Like, there comes a point you throw in the towel, or you just protect your fighter, or you just make a call. And like even the referee could have stopped there, but my God, yeah, it was tough to watch. So hopefully his corner's improved. I'd say he's come in here, maybe a different game plan. Well, different fighter, so obviously a different game plan, but might be a bit more relaxed early on the fight, and then kind of prepare himself for the later rounds.
Yeah, 100%. The fact that his heart, it's called Lionheart, and he used that in that fight, and it really pulled him through there. There's a lot of times where you're probably thinking, okay, his stock probably came out a little bit higher just because the toughness that he showed. And also he came into that quite a heavy favourite against someone many were thinking was almost past it in terms of their career. And obviously Glover's come back, and, there's talks about him maybe getting a title shot down the line and regaining that form that we knew of Glover Teixeira.
Teixeira is not getting any title shot with Jiri around.
Definitely not. And of course, we mentioned that obviously UFC 253, Jan Blachowicz versus Dominic Reyes, sort of vacant title. Could you see the winner of tonight maybe getting a shot? Obviously, we've got Thiago Santos versus Glover coming up very soon as well. So really, it's a big fight for the light heavyweight division. So
which fight do you think? So this fight could be a heavyweight title contender afterwards?
Depends on who gets the more impressive win, and if there's any injuries, perhaps.
No, man. Jiri. What are you missing? No, I don't think any of these guys get title shot. Thiago Santos might be the closest shout to that one. Maybe that fight between Cher. I think Santos is going to win. I think Cher's I rate him really highly. I just don't think he gets past Santos. And I think the winner of this will be probably up against Jiri anyway, because dude's an absolute killer. He's a beast. He's about 2 fights away from a title shot, if not 1 fight. He is more than able, especially now that John Jones is gone. You need kind of fresh talent with a lot of hype behind him that people actually are getting behind him. He's kind of becoming that person.
Yeah, definitely. He's another one of those that came from Fight Island and really impressed on that night, of course. And it is interesting. You mentioned there that John Jones, obviously, the division and the vision of the division is almost, it changed and flipped on its head, because with John Jones as champion, you're looking, this is a stale division. There's no one really to contend with him because he's beaten everyone. People are thinking he's a bit lucky to beat the likes of Dominic Reyes, Thiago Santos, and even Anthony Smith, who got kneed while he was down against John Jones and could have taken the DQ win that night. But with him gone up to heavyweight now, it's a much fresher division and a much more exciting division, because I feel like there's the chance where we see the title really get changed a couple of times. I think Dominic Reyes, Jan Blachowicz, whoever wins, they're going to have a tough match. As you said, Yuri's come in top 6 already on his first fight, and we've got some absolute killers already.
Don't we have Anthony Johnson coming back?
I don't know if he's going to be heavyweight or light heavyweight, but yes.
Well, if he decides it's light heavyweight, then I think it's in for a bit more fun, that division. But yeah, man, it's crazy when you think about it. Like, sorry,
got OSP and Gus if they're willing to make that cut down back to 205.
poor Gus. Like, he goes up to heavyweight, and then he must be thinking, what the hell? Like, can't get away from this guy. But no, I'd like to see Gus go back down. But realistically, that division now is just wide open. Like, I have 1 or 2 clears. I think, yeah, they're probably going to win it. But yeah, it's a real tough call. That division's just so open. Well, it's good though. I'm looking forward to it.
It's true, and the fact that I saw. I think it was ESPN put it out that the fact that it's going to be the first time we have a champion who's not named John Jones or DC since 2011. That's a long
crazy.
It's a decade coming up in January, which is it's bananas. And Jan Blachowicz, Reyes is going to be a good bout, a fantastic one to the co-main for 253. But we're on about tonight. Rakic lost to a former title challenger in Ozdemir. It was a split decision loss. Many thought he had won that one just about. What did you make of that fight?
Which one? Sorry, you broke up a little bit there.
Sorry, against Volkan Ozdemir.
1 sec. I can't hear you there.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, say what you're saying again.
Volkan Ozdemir. He lost split decision against Ozdemir back in 2019. What did you make of that?
Rakic?
Yes.
Yeah, man, Rakic. I could have gone either way. It's close. Sorry, I couldn't hear you at all there.
No, right.
It's interesting because Rakic lost that fight. You could have made a good argument that he could have won it, to be honest with you. But wasn't it Smith? Smith beat Ozdemir as well. Like, Smith actually beat him. So you want to do a bit of MMA maths. You think, all right, Smith's going to come along and beat this. He beat Ozdemir. Whole different type of fight. But yeah, it's a bit like it's kind of a stand-up battle. It could be a stand-up battle between these two if you go by previous fights. But I'd like to see Smith actually implement the grappling like he did against Ozdemir and do that against Rakic. And that could really mix things up and put everything in perspective.
Definitely. And with that, we'll have a quick look at the tailor tape. Anything that really stands out to you? Both the same height, yet Rakic's got the longer reach, both in the arms and the leg department. Are we going to see a kickboxing bout tonight?
I don't know. I don't think so. I think if Smith is smart, I think he takes to the ground. I think the only thing that stands out here is the record. Like, look at the amount of fights that man has. It's insane. He's got what? He's got 47. I think he's 48 fights. I think he's 48 fights, I thought.
Tonight, I believe.
48 tonight. No, he's got 48. He's 33-15 on Tapology. So, mate.
That's on the UFC website. So, blame them, not me.
Fair. So, like, yeah, man, he's got all these fights, and what age is he? He's still only 32, and he's got that amount of fights. It's absolutely crazy when you think of it. All I can think of is, will it take its toll over time, and can he keep going? I really think he can. But yeah, that's the only thing that stands out there. It's just insane the amount of experience he has, and that he brings into this fight.
Yeah, definitely. And especially, this year has been tough for him. He had that trauma with his house being broken into at the start of the year. He's had a long old 2020, and the fact that he went in there with Glover, he didn't look great. He was great for a first round, but after that, he gassed, and Glover really took over the fight. I'm thinking maybe we see Rakic a head kick win for him like he did against Jimmy Manuwa.
Oh, I remember that fight.
Brutal knockout.
What you mean, man? That was 2019, wasn't it?
Yeah, and it was actually on the same card as Smith versus Gustafsson in Stockholm, Sweden. Smith won that night. Rakic won that night.
Oh my God! Like, yeah, Rakic really he really made his mark with that kick. It's crazy. I always think that it's been ages since Jimmy Manuwa fought, but like, it's been a year. It's mad when you think about it.
He's tempted to come back to heavyweight too.
Everyone's coming back.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is a crazy.
It's like turned into a meme. It's like, you get a fight, you get a fight, you get a fight. It's like everyone's coming back from. It's mad.
Definitely. Obviously, someone who also coming back for a fight is Robbie Lawler. Been a while since we've seen him again. Only a year. Unfortunately, had a bad 2019 with the loss to Ben Askren. Of course, Colby Covington put him into some deep waters there in that bout. And that was one many was hoping Robbie Lawler almost would go in and win just because of the heat that Colby always brings into a bout. But Colby was excellent that night, and that really, it stapled him into being a top 2 contender for Colby. But Robbie Lawler coming in at 13, are you expecting him to get win and become as ruthless as we've seen him in the past?
My heart says Robbie Lawler, because I'm a big Robbie Lawler fan. This kind of style of fighting he has, and just the way way he conducts himself. He's just a really likable character. But man, he hasn't won since 2017. and what is it? Magny's had 2 fights this year. Like, he's won twice this year already. Like, the activity, Magny's won more times this year than Lawler has in the last 3. That's just a lot. It's not longer.
Yeah, that's
crazy.
Not great, but of course Lawler, you can never count him out, and it's almost is he coming to a point where he's almost going on too long and he's ruining his career and the legacy that he once held and has built up for himself, because he is a great fighter. The Rory McDonald fights alone will cement him in the history for the UFC and MMA alone, but you can go a little too long. I think regardless how long he goes, like, he's 38 now, I think regardless of how long he decides to go on for, how many more fights he has, it's not gonna affect his legacy. I think he's really cemented himself as one of the best at this point. Like, he's up there. It's just about now is if he loses tonight, what's next? The UFC cut him because that's 4 in a row. He hasn't won in a few years if that's the case. But if he wins, is it like, okay, give him the resurgence type of job? It's hard to see. Yeah, 100%. Obviously, that welterweight division is, one of the best in the game in the UFC at the moment as well. And there's absolute killers in there. And, he's 13th. A win tonight for him would be progress for him. But, it doesn't get easier as you look up those rankings for him.
No, not at all. Realistically, if you ask me if he can move up the rankings again, I can't see him beating anyone ahead of him. I can't see him beating anyone in the top 5, realistically. He's kind of just there at the moment. It's kind of he seems to be kind of a bit of a gatekeeper in a sense. I know he's, despite a few losses, but still he's fought high-level competition. Like, he's fought RDA, Ben Askren, which people probably have a bit of an issue with, but, come on.
Yeah.
And then, what was the other one? RDA is it's mad. Like, he's fought high-level competition the whole time. He's not past it, but I don't think there's any way forward for him.
No, it's definitely a good name, and especially from a UFC standpoint, if you're marketing a fighter, you go, right, face the former world champion, who might be on the way out, and, you get a win against Robbie Lawler, it builds you up and pushes you really into that top 10, and that's what Neil Magny will be looking for tonight. And
Magny, his activity I love this year. Like, I really, really enjoyed the fact that he's back and he's really active. Like, this is his 3rd fight. He could fight again this year, easily. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins and he gets it's a quick job, then I think he's on again then in a few months. But he's never made the jump. When it counts, he's never I feel like it's counted against names that really would have surged him up the rankings. It's never happened. Like, you get the fight against, was it RDA, Ponzinibbio? RDA, Ponzinibbio, and there was a fight, go back a few years, with Lorenz Larkin as well. There's fights like those that could have been fairly significant if he did win, and he just didn't make that jump. And it's always been the case. But this one could be, it could be a little different. Could be that stepping stone he needs to kind of boost himself back into that kind of conversation where you could actually put him against lads who are in that upper area of the welterweight division.
Yeah, he's not won 3 fights in a row for a little while. He's always gone 2 and then lost. So the trajectory tonight is a loss for him. So hopefully he can change that and really start building on his resume and on his career.
Yeah, it's not really like, if he can do this, it'll be, I don't know what's next. I don't know what you do next with him.
For an opponent, I believe.
Sorry?
You got Jeff Neal looking for an opponent. You got Damian Maia, I think, is looking for. Actually, no, Damian Maia is retired now, isn't he? I believe. But
wasn't
bring him out.
This fight. Well, he was originally supposed to fight Jeff Neal. If I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong. Wasn't he? He was.
Yes, because Robbie Lawler took us on short notice, hasn't he?
Yeah. So, like, when you take, obviously, that's probably the fight that everyone's going to want to see after this, regardless of Jeff Neal is. I hope whatever he has some health issues, I hope they get sorted out. That's rough to see. He's such a good fighter. He quit it was like only a year ago he quit his job because he was making enough money from fighting again. I think he took it up again recently enough. So I don't know what he was doing with his finances, but whatever. But yeah, no, whatever health issues he has, I hope he bounces back. And whoever wins this, I wouldn't mind seeing him fight it.
Definitely. Let's have a look at the tail of the tape real quick. It's quite close in experience. Obviously, Lawler's been around, I think it's 20 years, or coming up close to 20 years his UFC career, which is, phenomenal. The fact that he's been around for so long. He's
been around the block, man. As far as he's always up there as well. Besides that, just looking at stats here, only thing that stands out is that kind of reach of Magny, man. It's kind of, I don't know if that's going to count. If it'll count for much, potentially will. It'll stop Lawler trying to closing the distance, kind of keep at bay a little. But man, can't get over the reach, height. It's crazy.
Yeah, he's a big welterweight, isn't he? Robbie Lawler. I don't know what his weight cut's like, but as you said there, a few inches height advantage for Magny, and it could be a very different fight for him. But it depends on how sort of ready he is for a short notice Robbie Lawler.
If he was, come on, he was preparing for Jeff Hands of Steel Neil, dude. Yeah, if you're preparing for a guy that can like that, not just finish you, that can spark you with a punch, and it's like a truck, then I think it's actually worked out really, really well, because Robbie Lawler is also the type of guy that can knock you out. So I don't think it really changed for him, or if it's going to make a massive difference for him. He's a well-rounded fighter. He's well experienced. Same with Robbie Lawler. So considering he's preparing for Neil, I think he's well set for this fight. Definitely.
I'm just having a quick look at the rankings here. Obviously, Magny's 14th, Lawler 13th. You've got the likes of Jeff Neal in 11th, Nate Diaz in 12th. Could have a Diaz-Lawler fight, perhaps. Two legends of the game. Vicente Luque at 10, RDA at 9, Chiesa at 8. There's some stacked names there for the winner of tonight.
I wouldn't mind that Diaz fight. Would be nice with Lawler. I don't see it happening. If he loses, no way. I don't think Diaz ever come back. He's such a good, not come back to fight any of these guys anyway. Only way he's coming back is for a fight with like Jorge Masvidal or McGregor. The Chiesa fight, yeah, man, that's a good shout. That one, I wouldn't mind that.
Definitely. I think obviously we've got Woodley. I wouldn't mind seeing Woodley Lawler again, because both of them are at the tail end of their careers. I know it was so dominant in Woodley's favour, but both of them at that tail end of the career, and it might be a nice little way just to round it off for one of them.
For one of them, but the other suffers.
They both suffer in that fight.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, definitely. But we move on. Actually, let's get a prediction. Is it Robbie Lawler's night, or is it Neil Magny going to push himself into the stars tonight?
Oh, man. It's been 3 years, so I want to say Lawler. I'm going to put, like, really, I have this really weird bet tonight. I'm putting money on the bally heads. So money on Lawler, money on Smith. Both of them to finish him. No, lad, I do not see it. Like, I've done all right with my bets, but this one's just just for the crack. Like, I have a free bet, and it's like, all right, bally head time. We're gonna go Robbie Lawler and Anthony Smith. So yeah, Robbie Lawler. That'd be a decision if you're gonna win.
Yeah, Darren Till would be proud of that. I'm sure he's waiting there with his photo of Darren Till's face, and Robbie Lawler, probably Anthony Smith too. You've seen the banter he's done with Brian Kelleher and all that over the summer.
Brian Kelleher would be retweeting all of them. Yeah, all the ball heads are fighting.
Yeah, it's been top class stuff. But we move on. Obviously, Alexa Grasso making her flyweight debut finally. She was supposed to make it in January against Claudia Gadelha. Actually, no. She was fighting Claudia Gadelha at 115, but she missed weight, and then that night announced that she would be making a move to the flyweight division. What are you making of her tonight? Is she going to be successful? No, she missed weight a couple of times. She had a catchweight bout not so long ago at 119. So obviously weight cutting problems have been an issue for her. Do you think she's going to find a home at the flyweight division?
I don't know. To be honest, you kind of like, I don't exactly see this as a fantastic fight to kind of like, prove that to us, if anything. Yeah. Like Kim only she had a fairly convincing win, wasn't it, against Nadia Kassim, where she just stopped her, was it body shots? Yeah. That was
nice liver shot.
Yeah, like that was her only convincing win. And I think Grasso is a bit of a level above. Like Grasso was meant to fight Gadelha, and now she's, you could say it's a bit of a step down in competition, but it's a step up in weight class, which is what, that's how you justify it. If she wins, then potentially, because that flyweight division is fairly open for having new contenders at the moment. I'd like to see her drop back down if she sorted the weight cut out, though, because she has beaten some good girls at 115.
Yeah, definitely. She beat Karolina Kowalkiewicz, former title challenger. So, she got the resume on her side for that. And also, we saw Amanda Rivas move up. She did fight Paige Van Zandt. And also, we saw Cynthia Calvillo go up and face Jessica Eye from the strawweight division. And now she's been touted as one of the few to challenge. Next. It's crazy, an extra 10 pounds make all the difference.
Man, Cynthia Calvillo went from she wasn't really in much title contention. She is now up there. Oh, that fight was amazing. She looked class. I don't think this is as significant now because I don't think Kim is anything like Jessica Eye, but yeah, man, I think Grasso is going to just walk through her. I think she has the advantage in striking. It's quite clear if you look at some tape of them both. Kim will probably be hoping to keep her at bay. She's a bit of reach advantage. That's kind of it. But I think Grass is just going to close this and make it a bit 13. She's probably going to win this way easy.
Yeah, definitely. And the win tonight would put her in that top 15 straight away of the flyweight division. Putting up, Alexis Davis, Montana De La Rosa, Antonina Shevchenko, all in that, that 11th to the top 10. It's an interesting place for her to be in, especially being 27. You don't know how difficult that weight cut is down to 115. Now she is, coming into the prime of her career.
Yeah, she could look good. She could look good at 125, and everyone gets a shock. But she's a little bit small. She's 5'5" going into this division now, isn't she?
Yeah.
She's a little bit on the smaller side. Well, maybe not. I guess compared to some like Kim is she's 5'7". I think I was looking at it earlier.
Same height as me.
You're 5'7".
Yeah, maybe feel sad then. But hey, we move.
Oh man, hey, I'm finally taller than someone. Oh yes.
Yeah, it's not good.
That's usually the case for me as well. I'd like to see her kind of have a clean slate at a new division and get a win and then push on. She's had I remember she joined the UFC. She had mad hype. Everyone was on this girl is gonna be great. I had such high hopes. She looked good on the feet. She was fairly solid. She's entertaining to watch, and now it's she's not exactly lived up to the hype as people would have hoped. She's fought some fantastic girls and saying that. So I think this is kind of this could be a new era for her in the 125 division.
Yeah, definitely. I think, that Claudia Gadelha fight was a big opportunity for her missed. Had she made weight, she's fighting on a Conor McGregor card, which, done 1.92 million pay-per-view buys on the main card as well. She wasn't a prelim. She was on that main card with Gadelha, who was number 6, I believe, at the time in the rankings. A fight and a win on that night would have changed probably a whole 2020.
Ah, lad, the amount of eyes that would have been on that, you would have just... That's such a sickener, between the money, the money in those cards is fairly nice. The amount of people watching them, it's so good. It's just perfect marketing for yourself. And then you go off and you miss weight, and it's really frustrating, man. I don't like that stuff. So if she decides she's dropping down the UFC later, my God, just give her a nutritionist or someone who sorts out the weight cut, or just keep her at 125. That's why I kind of hope she kind of stays around 125 and kind of gets a new slate here.
Yeah, definitely. And on the flip side, as we mentioned earlier, you got Amanda Rivas fought against Paige Van Zandt, who has a big name, also at Fight Island on that UFC 250 card where Mazda Usman fought. And you see where that's propelled her now. And I know but that's the trajectory you really, you dream of really in the UFC.
MMA Twitter loves Amanda Rivas now. She would I'd love to see her Instagram following and kind of her general MMA following before and after that fight, because it must be insanely different because people just love her now. She's so good and she's such a likable person. So if Grasso can do something like that now, it'd be ideal.
Yeah, I think because obviously she stayed at the Fight Island for a little while. I believe Dana White said she put on either 50,000 or 100,000 in that week, pre-fight and post-fight. She put on 100,000 Instagram followers overnight, pretty much.
It's madness. It just shows what being on a popular card, being a likable character, and putting on a good show does. And I think Grasso missed out on that the last time, so she's got some making up to do.
Definitely. And I think she probably does get the win tonight. As you said, the opponent has almost been a bit kind to her, even though there's no easy fights in the UFC or in MMA. but I think
No.
she get the win tonight.
I think she gets the win, but no. I want to put it this way. Last week, was it last week? It was a Shanna Dobson. Lad, she just like everyone. Wasn't she one of the biggest upsets in terms of like if you look at the
biggest
terms
underdog,
of odds.
and Ronda Rousey, I believe.
Yeah, in terms of odds, it was insane. Like I was looking at it, and I just threw it in just to improve the accumulator small bit. But my God, that was crazy. Like so, something like that could happen. But no, if it. The sport always surprises. Like last week's a perfect example of that. So unless something like that happens again, no, I think Grasso's winning this.
Yeah, I believe so, and I believe that she builds a path in the flyweight division, and maybe we see her against someone like Amanda Rivas, who I know she fights at flyweight, and I know she wants to fight at strawweight. It depends on which way she decides to go. But both of those are in a similar position where they're floating in between those two divisions.
That'd be a good scrap, actually. Wouldn't mind that. Alex Grasso, Amanda Rivas. If she wins, that is. We can't. What happens if Kim wins? No?
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. But I think we move on to the final bout of the main card. It's Ricardo Lamas versus Bill Algeo. Now, the UK scene wasn't too happy when they saw Bill Algeo putting on late notice on this bout. I wonder why.
Oh, I wonder. Jesus, man. Look, no offense to him, but like he got pieced up by Brendan Loughnane. Absolutely pieced. It was a disgrace that Brendan wasn't signed after that, and that could be a little bit of bias because he's been on with Steve. He's been on the channel quite a few times, and he just met him. He's a great guy, but just look at that fight, and it's just you think, okay, why wasn't he signed? He looks so good, and just because he shot a double leg, go away. Like, come on, he pieced this man up, and now you're putting this fella in who's like. Algeo had one fight after that loss, and it was only recently. So I think it was back 13. It was like 13, 14 of August or something. Could be around those dates. And he's obviously fresh, and that's probably the only. I would imagine the only reason he's getting this fight. Because why on if you saw this man last year, he got pieced up, and you're thinking, oh yeah, just because your man shot a double leg, he's not getting a contract. You give the lad that lost to Ricardo Lamas. You're literally feeding him to the wolves. Rant over.
Yeah, that's one of them ones where that obviously we're closely linked with Brendan, and obviously even Stephen, the fact that he went to PFL, and it makes it even more bittersweet, or even more bitter, should I say, the fact that the PFL, we can't see Brendan fight this year, and we're seeing the guy he beat and should have earned a UFC contract against fight twice this year now.
Well, if you look at it, man, I don't even think it's a bias thing at this point. You just look at it, talk to many people who kind of been watching the sport for quite a while or watch that fight, and they'll just say, yeah, Brendan's a very he's a high level fighter, and fit. He's obviously having a really tough time with the PFL situation, the contract situation. So for him, I can imagine it's so frustrating.
Yeah.
Everyone's seeing thinking, why on earth? This is you sign this lad now, but you wouldn't sign Brendan. But Brendan's off. Yeah. He's struggling. He wants to fight. Yeah, it's tough to see. In terms of Lamas, yeah, I think but for actually, on the point of the actual fight, I think Lamas has taken this hands down.
Yeah, he did lose to Calvin Carter in his last.
He did, yeah.
And we know how good Calvin Carter is.
Oh yeah.
Darren Elkins he beat was his last win. He's actually three losses in his last 4 bouts, so he does need a win. And he probably is going to get that tonight.
I think it lines up perfectly. If Ricardo Lamas, puts on a clinic and he starts, piecing up a little bit, as long as he doesn't shoot for a double leg near the end, he might, he might get a bonus if he's fighting well. I think it'd be really, really funny if Lamas actually just pieced him up for 3 rounds unanimous and then says last 10 seconds takes this lad down with a double leg. I'd laugh. It'd be very, very funny.
That's risking him getting cut tomorrow morning.
he's after PFL in 2021 then.
I don't know. Yeah, and to the last almost point on this, you see, we follow Brendan and his tweets are literally, when you're fighting next, why aren't you fighting on this card? Look at this guy you beat fighting, The fact that Brendan's got such a fan base, and it's almost a blessing that he lost that bout, or he won that bout, didn't get a contract. He should have got the contract, but it's almost a blessing in disguise because he became the Dana White became the heel, so he did the marketing for him, in the fact that Brendan became the biggest talking point in MMA loss at that point.
Yeah, if it wasn't for COVID, I guess it would be a blessing in disguise. That realistically, because like obviously he couldn't foresee what was going to happen in the future, but like really at the time when he didn't get the contract signed PFL, he was becoming a superstar, and PFL were loving him. He was getting good fights. He was getting a mad amount of hype, media, the whole shebang. He was really, really up there. So in that sense, it was a bit of a blessing in disguise, I guess. But nowadays, not so much, because he's not able to fight, and it's obviously really frustrating for him. But I hope he gets that sorted out, because if Bill Algeo, no offense to that guy, he won recently, he bounced back fairly well, and he's fighting this. So he could pull something off. We never know. He could have improved in the last year. But if this lad's getting a contract,
if he gets the win tonight. MMA Twitter will absolutely explode if he gets the win tonight, Bill Algeo.
Yeah, if he wins, like, all right, once Brendan becomes a free agent, you might sign him.
Yeah, especially, we've seen the Contender Series now. We've seen a lot of contracts being given out this year, and we've got one fight tonight. But obviously, that means some people are getting their jobs cut. Really, we've seen a couple. Ray Borg dropped out, and Ricardo Lamas 3 out of 4 of his last 7 losses. Another loss tonight could really be, trouble for him and mean the end for him perhaps in the UFC.
Man, he's been around so long, man. He's been in the UFC since 2011. He's fought everyone. He's got the striking where he just knock you out clean. Like everyone kind of knows him as that joke that McGregor made. That's where he's got a lot of popularity game, but it's cruel. Yeah, it's hard to know. Like if he loses, I think he might get caught. Yeah, I agree with you there.
It's a tough one. Obviously, you got the highlight with him with Max Holloway putting it down in the middle of the octagon and standing and banging for those last 10 to 15 seconds.
I was only going through his record earlier, and I scrolled down to that, and I was like, my God! I was like, you go for it. Like it's not really how the mighty have fallen, because it's just how things are. He's fought some good competition. Like he wasn't meant, this obviously a replacement fight. It's not as if he asked for this fight or he was meant to get this fight in the first place. But yeah, like he was meant to fight. Was it Ryan Hall originally?
Yes, I believe so.
Heartbroken. Oh, one sec. I think no.
Yeah,
very confident. Yeah, Ryan Hall got injured.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. No one wants to fight Ryan Hall at the moment. We waited ages for him to get about.
A lot of people don't seem to like him. Actually, if Lamas wins tonight, I'd love to see him fight Ryan Hall. Oh, his jiu-jitsu is just like, he's so good. And even he started looking good in the feet as well. He throws some nice kicks, and people call him boring and stuff. But like, if you really if you respect what Ryan Hall does and the way he fights and his technical ability, and the way he sets things up, it's just amazing. Like, he's just amazing to watch. I'm a fan of watching him anyway. I know a lot of people aren't, but yeah, if Lamas wins, I'd like to see them rebook that. That'd be class.
Yeah, definitely. He's almost one of those fighters where, when you got fans in the octagon, once it goes down or in the arena, once it goes to the ground for 30 seconds to a minute and a half, people start booing. When really, especially watching on TV, you get the close camera shots up, you start to admire what they're doing. Especially if someone is coming from a striking background, you're almost you're admiring the groundwork of the specialist at their game.
Well, some people don't. Some people who come from, I guess, some people go from striking background might see it as like, no, get up, stand a bank. It's typical. It depends. It's an individual thing, I guess. But if you're gonna, I feel like if people want to, if they're gonna risk, they're gonna watch the sport at least. If if a lad like Ryan Hall is putting on a clinic on the ground and is really setting up something amazing, don't boo the man. Like, he's good. There's a reason no one wants to go on the ground with him. It's because he's a wizard. It's insane. Yeah, man. Oh no, I hate it when the boos and the woos.
That's the biggest thing. This last 4 months of no fans. That's the best thing about it. And no booing, no almost demanding the referee to stand fights up. We've just been able to see the fight and the game plan from both parties just really play out.
Oh yeah, and the smaller cage. In the Apex, that is. Man, I just I completely forgot about that until now. It's like, realized we're in the Apex. It's gonna be a smaller cage. Guys like Ricardo Lamas are gonna thrive here. He close up, he can land it. where you can land one big shot and no one can run away from you for very long. I think it's a good one.
Definitely. I think, and also, again, going to the UK scene, we've got Leroy Matthews just fluttering around those rankings. And, he's had a great start to his UFC career. I believe they've got a fight coming up soon. The opponent's not been announced. And I know he's been putting out some tweets being like October, November-ish. So I expect we'll see him again later on in the year. Probably not against the winner of tonight, maybe. But that featherweight division's getting some killers. And you've got Kron Gracie. I was going to say Ryan Hall versus Kron Gracie would be a brilliant matchup for the styles that they both bring to the octagon.
Jiu-jitsu lovers would, oh man, they'd just lose their shit. I would love that fight. Oh my God. The ability, like imagine the ground game would be insane. Those where scrambles get really technical and there's, okay, somebody was on TV, so you see guys they just pull off stuff that, you look at and think you just be mind blown by it. Like, and they show and their jiu-jitsu is just so admirable. It'd be one of those, man. I'd love to see that.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's where MMA, with boxing and kickboxing are very traditional in the sense of martial arts, but MMA, you just pick up this admiration for things that, one, you can't do yourself, and two, it's just mastered the game. Like Khabib in his wrestling, no one does it like him. Sometimes people boo him because he doesn't stand up, but he does it so perfectly and so dominating against his opponent that it almost becomes a beauty. It's almost like art in a sense. It's almost like people love to hate art, and people have different opinions, but you just watch that, especially for 25 minutes, and you're just there in awe.
Yeah, especially when you see these high-level black belts show off some of the best jiu-jitsu in the world. It's like, okay, you sit back and think, oh my God, this is amazing to watch. Like, it's like you're sitting there as like a white belt looking at them thinking, oh wow, you can do this? Oh God.
Yeah, it's crazy, And I still to this day watching MMA, I grimace most that the arm locks, the leg locks, you saw the knee bar from Aaron Lipsky the other week. You see a knee
love leg locks, knee bars.
It's grim. Whereas a knockout, you should probably see that more often. You don't see a leg lock, a Kimura lock, arm bars, even though arm bars are probably more prevalent at the moment. Yeah,
leg locks, knee bars, it's like the dark side. They're so good to watch. It's great. Yeah, those amazing those submissions that people can pull off. Actually, I love if we got someone tonight that pulls off some like really, really slick submission. I'd love it. I think not enough. You get carried into a few, but some decent submissions. We know those really out there, like where someone pulls off this crazy leg lock or what was that? Oh, I can't even think the name of it. What, the twister? Stuff like that. I love when a card has something like that. Yeah, bring him up there. I love to see something like that tonight. I think that's what Ryan Hall. Why I was so excited for this is because when Ryan Hall was booked, he would have brought something like that. It was like a striker versus a grappler type of thing, and it was perfect. And something crazy was going to happen. I would have hoped, but I hope that fight gets rebooked anyway.
Yeah, we see you got Jack Hermanson versus Kelvin Gastelum. That was a heel hook, submission win. But I see a point tonight. It's a very almost strike-heavy card. It's not one where you go, this person's a submission specialist. It's someone or a lot of fighters that are very stand-up. Their gameplay is very much standing up and banging.
Yeah, true. There's not, I guess, well, maybe not in the main card.
Yeah.
Well, Magny's got a very, very good ground game. He's strong. Then you got Robbie Lawler, who can wrestle, who's a really strong wrestler. So I think they're really well matched in that sense. Maybe just if the fight happened a few years ago, it would have been a hell of a lot more competitive potentially.
Definitely. Now, we was mentioning the contender series there. One guy tonight, Impa Kasangane, I believe that's how we pronounce it. He was on there just recently, a couple of weeks ago, on the same card, I believe, as Corey McKenna, where they've all got contracts. And Dana White came out and said that it was almost like it was 50-50 on the night. It was like, you didn't quite impress me, but he basically said he's available for this card, and that was the reason why he got the contract, because he's available so quickly. And we know how much Dana White loves fighters who can, one, say yes to every bout that they're given, but also turn around very quickly.
Yeah, it's class. Yeah, man, he looked good in that fight. And it was one of those situations where, like, obviously with everything going on in the world and the struggle to get fights and fighters to fight at the moment, especially good high quality fighters. When they come off Contender Series, you see them firsthand. They're in Vegas thinking, and they're available. It's kind of a why not? Like, he was handing contracts out there. That was 5 contracts that night. Insane.
Yeah.
Man, it's great. It was good to see a lot of guys kind of get their opportunity. So it's a big one for him against Maki Pitola. Like, was it Maki Pitola got done by Darren Stewart.
Yeah, poor
the
guy.
Dentist was, yeah. Oh yeah, he got seen by the dentist. That's my cringe line for the night.
Yes. Yeah. It's interesting, isn't it? When, especially, I see Hannah Scythe is another one on that card tonight. He's lost 3 in her last 4, I believe. She's come back very quickly, but she's lost the fights even quicker. Like, she's lost it first round, not taking too much damage. It's been submission losses that she's faced, really. So I think she's on her 4th fight this year, maybe 5th fight even. But Maki Pitola is in the same sort of, he's in the same sort of ballpark in terms of he faked that loss, but it was a very quick 1-round loss. It wasn't a 3-round domination where he got obliterated.
Yeah. It's one of those things where you stay active, even if you do lose and you lose the first round, just bounce back and stay active. They're going to give you fights, and it's money for you. It's money in your pocket. Just if you improve from that, like Maki Pitola's chances tonight, it could be fairly big, and it means a bit more time in the UFC, a bit more time to fight high level opposition, a bit more time to get some more pay, because at the end of the day, they're in there to get paid. Definitely,
and a good win for Kazangane. If he gets a win tonight, he's basically said to Dana White, "Thank you for putting faith in me. You did the right thing giving me that contract, and now you've got a new star in your hands."
Man, that Contender Series has produced some amazing talent. Like, I need to make a list of the fighters who fought in Contender Series, who've come from looking for a fight, and just show how far they've gone, how good they are. Like, it's just mad, Rick. And he could be like, they take risks on some of these people, and this could be another one if it pays off. Like, he's undefeated, like he's 7-0. If he goes 8-0 tonight and then builds on that again, and let's say if he gets a quick stoppage, or an early stoppage, excuse me, he could have a quick turnaround and he could fight again. There's you don't really know the roof for these guys yet, because they're only young and they're only earlier in their career, young in their UFC career, and there's still so much potential and so many fights for them.
Yeah, 100%. And his last fight was actually on a Contender Series last year. It's kind of crazy. He didn't get the contract that night. He came back, despite winning that bout, he came back, got the win, got the contract this time. And as you said, you look at the Sean O'Malley's, you look at the names that were building from the Contender Series. Corey McKenna, obviously making her debut in November after getting a contract the same night as we mentioned earlier. It's the place to be. Obviously, we see what IMAF are doing. It's almost like you come up there, do IMAF, get a good world title on your line, become a world champion. Obviously, Mokaev do. Go to a Brave and LFA, somewhere on that line. Then you've got your Contender Series shot and you're into the UFC.
Well, you don't even need, who else came through the Contender Series? Yusuf, wasn't it? Sodiq Yusuf. Yeah, you got there's some serious. Jeff Neal. The list is endless. There's plenty more. I can think so many from top of my head. It's just crazy to train. But it's like a new route for these guys. So, if we have it, they could have another one on their hands. If he gets a knockout or something, then Dana White's gonna be sitting there rubbing his hands, thinking, pick the right guy.
He wins either way, doesn't he? He either wins saying that he got a contract to win and he deserved it, or he gets proved by because he said he thought he might not be good enough. So either way, he wins. Yeah, realistically, and this guy is only going to get, he probably has about 3 fights, maybe 4 fights to contract, you'd hope. So you can imagine he's going to get another fight anyway. It's a fairly good time for Impa. Definitely, especially in that middleweight division. We've seen how stacked it is at the moment. Obviously, Adesanya, Costa coming up in just under a month now. But that middleweight division, Darren Till, Jack Hermanson, Jared Cannonier, boy, it gets good at the top of that division.
It's a freaking solid division. That's my favorite division at the moment by a mile. Nothing tops that one for me right now. I love it. It's so many fun fights to make. Even guys push it they're coming up through it as well. It's class. Can't wait. Can't wait for that Costa and Adesanya fight.
I'm as excited as I am terrified to see Adesanya get planted. I'm hoping things go right on the night and I see Adesanya retain the title. But as you said there, 135 up to 205 has now become an absolute shark tank. There's not a bad matchup in any of those rankings now.
No, literally, it's just just insane. Like everyone's just
absolute
there's
killers.
just killers. Yeah, literally. Like, you love to see it though, especially because they all want to fight as well. It makes it a whole lot better.
100%. Anyone that knows that aren't ranked, Khamzat Chimaev came onto the scene, absolutely blown up. But even if you're in that 15 to 20, or maybe even 25, if you want to extend it that far, you got some incredible bouts coming up.
Further than that, even. No, Chimaev is going dropping down, but he can fight. He can fight both divisions. I don't think the guy cares, to be honest.
People
can fight. Sorry,
people want to give him title shots already.
Yeah, people are. There's talks of Anthony Pettis or something. People are saying, people just want to see him fight. He's a likable character, you know.
Yeah.
Man, doesn't see him back in there. But yeah, back to this card.
Yes.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah, it's easy to get excited when you've got 22 events in the next 16, 17 weeks.
I think we're scheduled for they're scheduled for every weekend up until December, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's not including Contender Series. It's great.
It's on full speed ahead. Consider we had those 2 months off where we had nothing. Everything's back in full steam now, and you almost get it's mouthwatering to see all the different organizations and different fights that we have and being given, especially the Cage Warriors triple header coming up soon, 5 title fights over 3 nights. It's impeccable what we've been given at the moment.
It's considering the circumstances, promotions have still pulled through. Like Cage Warriors pulling through, Bellator coming back as well. That Cage Warriors card, you're probably going to see that's going to be like Contender Series. The amount of contracts that'll be like given out with that, the amount of those fighters that'll be going to Fight Island at some point after following is going to be crazy. I'd say, if not 5 fighters from that, if not 5 of them going to Fight Island or going to the UFC afterwards, I'd be shocked.
Yeah, that's not a bad shout, especially because that's in the middle of September. I think we're going to Fight Island end of September, probably October, because I was looking the other day. Adesanya and Costa, the only fight. If you look at they put out their rest of the schedule for September, it's the only one that didn't have the UFC Apex logo on it. So I'm kind of doing conspiracy work, seeing or thinking is it going to be Fight Island that we see Adesanya, Costa, obviously New Zealand, Brazil international fighters. It could be back to Fight Island.
It could be. I'd love to see it. It's got that Fight like. I love the Apex, the small cage, the atmosphere in there's a little bit eerie in a sense. It's a bit more of an intimate kind of thing because there's not a big crowd. It's just small cage. Everyone's there. You can hear the cornerman, everything. They're like Fight Island has kind of aura around it where it's just
a big fight feeling. Yeah,
the hype was amazing. Like International Fight Week every year always had a big fight feeling, but this year, despite everything, the fact they still managed to pull it off, they had Fight Island. The whole setup was just like it's perfect.
Yeah,
it's perfect for what you wanted. So yeah, I'd love to see them go back here, especially the fact that it gives European fighters a chance, international fighters. Jeddah gives them all a chance. So hopefully.
Yeah, definitely. I think some of those winners on that Cage Warriors triple header are definitely going to get calls up in September.
Oh yeah.
Like, do you want to fight in a week or 2 weeks? It's almost guaranteed. It's incredible. But back to tonight's card. I get your final predictions for Anthony Smith. Rakic, of course. Who do you think is getting the W tonight?
Anthony Smith's going to get the job done. I'm telling you. It's one of those things. It's because I'm only saying that because I have my free bet, the 2 baldy heads.
that needs to be a hashtag.
Stop.
Don't be joining Darren Till in his banter. But yeah, I think Rakic is going to do it. I think he's going to get a good knockout win. I'm going to say 3rd round, and I'm going to say gets that head kick again like he did against Jimmy Manuel. Especially he's got a couple of inches in the reach advantage, despite them both being the same height. I think he's going to get a good knockout win. And I'll go with the Neil Magny decision win. And I think that'll be a fight of the night as well. Neil Magny, Robbie Lawler, fight of the night.
My head says Magny's going to win the decision as well. He's kind of, if he pulls it off, he's in a really good position. He's done really well. He's had a good year for fighting. If he does actually win. Next fight afterwards, what do you think?
Ooh, I'm going to go with Alexa Grasso.
Same as. She'll either, I think, stoppage or decision. She takes this one.
Yeah, do you think, if it is a stoppage, do you think it's going to be more of the knockout, TKO, or submission?
TKO.
TKO, yeah. I think I'm in agreement with that. I think it'll probably be stopped 1st, 2nd round. And obviously, I think we've got to go with Ricardo Lamas, haven't we, on the last fight? Ricardo Lamas decision.
Man, I'm not feeling like any hot takes on this fight anyway. I'm gonna go Ricardo Lamas. It's a small cage. He's a big striker. He's a really experienced. He knows how to fight. Like, he's been in the UFC since for yonks. Like, you know, he's part of the furniture in the UFC at this point. Like, especially the featherweight division. So yeah, you can't go against him this one.
100%. And obviously, it's become a huge talking point in recent times. And we'll get your prediction on this one. How many nut shots are there going to be tonight?
I don't think I have enough hands. I hope none. For fighters say, because knowing what it's like to get one of those or get more than one of those in a fight, it's awful, man. So I can't imagine what it's like when you're for lads who are fighting pro and it's like the raw shin bone going clean in, especially at that power, or a knee or something. It's grim, man. I couldn't. So I hope none. Realistically, it's probably going to be like 4 or 5 this right now. It's like a sick joke, isn't it?
Yeah, but that I hope, because everyone's keeping tally charts now. But I think Paul Felder on the mic was like, there was 9 either last week or the night or the weekend before. But it's like, it's becoming almost a running joke, as you said.
Yeah, not a good one either. Like, it's like, why is this happening? Just stop. Yeah, I hope none. But I'm surprised Paddy Power haven't come out with some mad bet yet, being like more than 5 nut shots in one card or whatever, and it'll be really bad odds on again, just because it's so common recently.
Yeah, it is grim. I think we saw even a rare one, but we see obviously it comes almost accustomed that it's the nut shot is to the men fighters as well, isn't it? But you see a couple ones. You see a couple of the other with the women's fighters, you know, you always see someone being like, that hurts just as much as the men's does. And you're like, okay, fair play.
Oh man, like it's a kick, man. It's gonna hurt regardless.
Definitely. I think that's a good point to wrap up there, because the prelims are just about to start as well. We're about 6 minutes into the prelims. So the first fight should be walking out very soon. Make sure to hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 10K, of course. Make sure to drop it a like and share it on social medias. If you join us from Facebook, thank you. We'll be doing these on a weekly basis, of course. And we'll see you guys on the next video.